Yeah, man, I say all praises and honor to Yahweh, and double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Shalom to all our brothers. I'm out there pushing truth in all sincerity and in all honesty. You know, this is a brother from James Maker Camp. I'm Yashamai.
Paul.
I war.
I know one video on World War III, you know, the Third World War, you know, because, you know, scripture speak about 3 wars, a 3 war, you know, World War I, you know, World War II and World War III. You know, and we know so before this Third World War destruction kick off full-fledged, you have certain prophecies, you know, that basically come to pass. You know, like for example, the main prophecy, the RFID microchip, which is the mark of the beast. You know, you have certain prophecies, you know, the famine of the world. You know, I was seeing the preparation taking place. You know, and elect. You know, elect of a seal according to the scriptures. If I say you have 4 angels, we'll have 4 wings of the earth. I say earth at the earth, now the sea, until you have a seal the servants of power in your forehead. You know, and hey, we see what's taking place now right across the world with this whole with the economy right now. You know, and what's happening now with the nations and America. And you have Joe Biden coming to power now. You say him claim to say he can heal America. You know, we should go back to what? Go back to the scripture. Because the scripture speak about these things here. Right? You can bring it up, brother?
Alright.
Start at verse 6.
Alright, so this is Jeremiah 51 and verse 6. So flee out of the midst of Babylon and deliver every man his soul.
Can't just say flee out of the midst of Babylon. Talking about, you know, spiritually. You have to flee, you have to turn from this way of life. Turn from this American dream. Wake up out of this American dream.
Rise and depart.
You know, Super say, rise and depart, for this is not your rest. Right? So you have to turn from this way of life and turn back to your house, Shimmy and Shai. You know, talking to our people. You know, if you want to look at here, you know, among so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indian. You know, white time is supposed to turn from this wicked society. Super says, it's high time to awake out of sleep because now is our salvation nearer than when you believe. Continue, brother.
Alright, be not cut off in her iniquity.
Be not cut off in her iniquity. What?
Right, for this is the time of the Lord's vengeance.
For this is the time of the Lord's vengeance. We live in the time of the Lord's vengeance. We live in the time when the Heavenly Father, you know, Yahweh, you know, Bashimi and Shai going to judge America. You know, for all the wickedness America been doing over the years. You see, the other time people living right now. What?
And he will render unto her a recompense.
What?
Babylon had been a golden cup in the Lord's hand.
Babylon had been a golden cup in the Lord's hand, talking about America. What?
That made all of her junking, the nation of junking of her wine, therefore the nations are mad.
All these nations following the ways of America. You know, America philosophy. You know, America way of life. You know, like the democracy. So I know all these nations fed up and tired of America. Because they've been following America ways for so long. And you know, you're going to basically destruction unto them, you know. So now they're fed up and tired of America, they're hungry with America. Right? Go on.
Proceed. Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. Hold ye for her. Hold for her. Right? Take balm for her pain. If so, she may be healed.
If so, she may be healed. What?
Verse 9 says, we would have healed Babylon,
what?
But she is not healed.
So America now go heal. So our Joe Biden say, you know, when Donald Trump come and say, I'm going to make America great again. So I'm going to feel one thing. So I'm going to heal Babylon. We in a time of America destruction. You see, at the time we're living right now. America is finished up. And get them time for rain. Now we come at them, now we reach what? The end of them rulership here.
So we would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Forsake her. And let us go, everyone, into our own country. For her judgment reach it unto heaven and is lifted up even to the sky.
Let's bring that script. It says, Isaiah 47 and 1, it says, come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. Sit on the ground. There is no throne, O daughter of the Chaldeans. For thou shalt no more be called the tender and delicate.
So which was said, thou shalt no more be called what? Tender and delicate. No, because you know, in a time now, you know, all these nations are going to shoot, you know, ICBM missile, you know, on America. You know, in a joke they say, before the ICBM missiles, it's like what? America is what? Like the Garden of Eden. And behind them, a desolate wilderness. And so what will take place, you know, in the land of America? America become 100% desert. No Joel 2. Right? Remember that?
It says, take the millstone and grind meal,
Go on.
and cover thy locks, make bare the legs, and cover thy thighs. See? Pass over the rivers, thy nakedness shall be uncovered.
Right now we live in a time now when all these nations, seeing America shame you. Since America is finished. The so-called Chinese say America is finished. So then they might try, come up and come be the next
World power.
big guy on the block, which not gonna happen. Because after this coming destruction, our kingdom gonna be established in the earth,
Say Esau is the end of the world.
And Jacob is the beginning of it and follow it,
So as Esau go down, Moab now come up, now Ishmael, now all the other nations, man. Israel kingdom will get set up to the power and spirit of the Ahabash in our shine.
It says again, verse 3, it says, thy nakedness shall be uncovered, yea, thy shame shall be seen. I will take vengeance, and I will not meet thee as a man.
Say, Lord, I say, I'm going to take vengeance, and I'm going to meet thee as a man. Now come up for basically nail him up on a cross. Again, you come up with like angelic force. So if I say vengeance is in his heart. I mean so long, hold him in peace. But wait for the time, to come and take what is basically rightful for Israel. Come back and deliver elect and remove the so-called white man from out of power.
Which is right, man. This is the article from RT News. It's November 8, 2020. It says fallout from COVID pandemic risk sparking World War III, warns UK defense chief. It says as much of the world still grapples with COVID-19, UK's top military commander has warned that the economic ramification of the pandemic could lead to a third world war.
It will take place, according to Bible prophecy. It's going to be a third world war because I read in the scriptures it will take place. What?
It says General Nick Carter, the chief of the UK's defense staff, said the rhythm of history suggested that the outbreak of global conflict is a possibility because of the uncertainties caused by the coronavirus. The general cautions that Britain and the international community would need to learn from history in order to avoid the missteps that sparked the 20th century world wars.
So
basically talk about World War I and World War II.
And no matter what they want to do, in the idea it's written say there's going to be a third world war destruction. So no matter what Esau you don't want to try, World War III is going to take place because it all go back to Bible prophecy. Everything was predestined. Give Revelation 11 and 14, brother.
Right. This is Revelation 11 verse 14.
One.
Say the second war is past.
The second war is past. It's basically World War II. So World War II is past. One.
And behold, the third war cometh quickly.
And behold, the third war cometh quickly. The third war is what? World War III. So World War III come quickly.
It says, scripture said, do it tarry, wait for it, man. The vision is yet for an appointed time.
And the end shall speak.
Yeah.
And not lie.
Oh, you want it?
This is Jeremiah 50 verse 9.
One.
It says, for lo, I will rise and cast to come up against Babylon,
So one.
an assembly of great nations.
So an assembly of a great nation. But they go up against Babylon, which is America. One.
From the north country.
So they want to take America from the north. One.
And they shall set themselves in array against her.
One.
From thence she shall be broken.
Shall be taken.
Oh, slap. From thence she shall be taken.
One.
Their arrows shall be as of mighty expert man.
So arrows, talking about what? The ICBM missiles. That will be a mighty expert man. What?
none shall return in vain.
None shall return in vain. That's second Ezra 16. He said, none never basically miss. You can bring it up, brother? That finish?
See, second Ezra 16 and verse 1 it says, woe be unto thee, Babylon and Asia.
So she was saying, woe be unto thee, Babylon, which is America and Asia. The so-called Chinese things want to come here with the next superpower. Super say, woe be unto you, Babylon and Asia. So now get it too. So-called Chinese, I'm going to get it too. Go on.
Egypt. Woe be unto thee, Egypt and Syria. Wind up yourself with cloth of sack and hair. Bewail your children and be sorry, for your destruction is at hand.
Your destruction is at hand. See? What?
So it's a sword is sent upon you, and who may turn it back.
A sword is sent upon you, sent upon America. ICBM missile will shoot off, in the land of America. And who can turn it back? Who can stop them? The Heavenly Father, Yahweh, Shemeshah, and Spirit are going to these missiles. The Spirit to them also. And the Heavenly Father, army. In a Joel. In a Joel 2. Go on.
So a fire is sent among you, and who may quench it.
Go on.
The plagues are sent unto you, and who is it? Who is he that may drive them away?
Go on.
Let's get to the point.
Yeah, continue.
Verse 13 says, for strong is the right hand that bendeth the bow, and his arm, and his arrow that he shooteth are sharp, and shall not miss.
So none of them ICBM missiles are going to miss you. Tell America that lake of fire, they will mention a revelation. What?
So when they begin to be shot into the ends of the world.
Exactly.
This is scripture. Isaiah 13 and verse 4. It says the noise of a multitude in the mountain, like as of a great people, a tumult of noise of the kingdoms of nation gathered together.
I'm talking about the war that take place in the Middle East, according to Joel 3 and 1. The Heavenly Father, all nations, I'm going to bring them down to the valley of Jehoshaphat. And I'm going to plead with them there for his people. Israel, basically, so-called white man scattered amongst all these nations. So all these nations are going to fight against each other, around the Persian Gulf, the valley of decision. Because you can say the noise of a multitude in the mountains, a tumultuous noise of the kingdom of nations. What?
Gather together.
What?
The Lord of hosts mustered the host of the battle.
So the Heavenly Father want to basically bring forth this destruction, this third destruction. What?
It says they come from a far country.
Talking about what the ICBM missiles them.
Intercontinental
ballistic missiles.
From the end of heaven. Even the Lord and the weapons of his indignation.
Even the Lord Yahushai and the weapons of his indignation. What?
To destroy the whole land.
To destroy the whole land of America. This is a future prophecy. We're about to take place here.
It says, woe ye, for the day of the Lord is at hand. It shall come as a destruction from the Almighty.
So the Heavenly Father the one to bring this destruction here.
In that time, we can just bring out a point, come have a scripture. When Joe Biden make him speech, he quote a scripture. Well, he never quote the scripture, he just roughly quote it. So to every time there's a season. See me? But if him truly know the time and the season we're in, because then him go on to say, he's going to heal America. See, it's not, you see me? It's not a time of healing, man, it's a time of war. Scripture says, Ecclesiastes 3 and we start verse 1, it says, to everything there is a season and a time to have a purpose under the heaven. Right? It's a time to be born and a time to die. A time to plant and a time to pluck up that which is planted. A time to kill and a time to heal. Right? A time to break down and a time to build up.
No, it's not the time to heal, man. The scripture tell you. Because
I have a heal Babylon.
Heal Babylon, man. Jump a verse 8.
Say, jump a verse 8. So it's a time to love and a time to hate, a time of war and a time of peace.
A time of what? War. We're in a time of peace.
Yeah, man, can.
This is how it take place in right now, right across the world. We're in a time of peace. We're in a time of
war,
Third World War destruction. We're in a time of the time of Jacob's trouble. We're in a time of race war. You know? Civil war. Civil unrest.
Scripture tell you about
famine. You know? At the time period we live in right now.
Woe is me, woe is me.
Right.
See him?
What, brother?
Can I tell you the scripture? Alright, it says, therefore shall all hands be faint, and every man's heart shall melt. See? And they shall be afraid. Pangs and sorrows shall take hold of them.
Right.
They shall be in pain as a woman that travaileth.
Sister said they shall be in pain as a woman that travaileth. You know, because you know all the war them fight, you know, over the East, World War I and World War II fight. You see, but what will take place this time around? You know, America going to get the full end of the stick, yo. In the Middle East, you have people, you know, they're them wedding or they're in the market, you know, a missile fire. Funeral. Missiles fire. And blush, everything goes, you know, everything goes, you know, blast way. But this is the world people use them type of thing.
Yeah, like place like in Yemen and them thing, because when them Saudi force, coalition force with the US,
yeah,
strike Yemen and then place them in. That's the thing with them go on with men. Hey, the scripture tells us because of men's blood. Zin, in a Habakkuk, man.
But guess now, why them comfortable is because over this side of the world never see such things.
Which is right, man.
You know what I mean? Them not fear run from missile or one life. A missile ever drop in them house and you know. So them never see certain things, man. And when them see it over the Middle East with US and do all of them things, them don't really think of this as nothing, as if their life are better or more than the lives of those that you know.
Like what Jamaicans might say them, we are blessed.
Exactly.
We are blessed. A precept was just back up, what does it say? It says 2 Peter 3:10, it says, but the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night, in which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat.
God, what about this called melt all these elements? The ICBM missiles. They're going to melt every single thing in this kind of land of America. And also the land of Israel. Because the land of Israel is going to get purged by ICBM missiles. You know, we know that America is going to shoot off, you know, them ICBM missiles also. You know, and China and Russia. You know, certain other part of the earth going to get hit. But we know that America can't by prophecy going to become 100% desert. But they really far that done in America.
Hey, basically the point where I try to get from that, where the actors see about when they talk about the people in Yemen and them places them used to bombing. But over on this side, people are used to that style, man. See? So the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night upon them, man. Because when a thief are coming and when they come, man, see? Then they make no plan with you, so they will come tonight or come that time or come this time, yeah. A thief just pop up and take what them to take, man. And so, it will accompany people here because them in a comfort zone now. See?
So people say a man will cry like a woman in
travail, man. Because something accompany when they never expect, man. It's like how we watch the video and see the house are break off at the hillside. And I hear the woman them a scream, man.
Hey, when World Trade Center get licked,
God.
Hey, that come like the world stop.
It says again it says here it says Carter said there was a risk that an uptick in regional conflicts around the world would spiral into a full-blown war, as was seen in the run-up to World War I and II. See? Because, hey, you have all kind of difference, as the scripture said, the article said with the economic ramification we are going now. See? Because even before you have run-up to World War II, you have the great the depression in that time, the Great Depression, trade war, currency war and all of them things, man. So guess what, we are going at that time, then we see all of this happen over again. And we are going out, as them say, they've been talking about a recession, a world recession coming, and the bubble, I go burst and all that, man. See? the whole fossil fuel thing when they say them try to get rid of with the new world order. See? America live off of what? Fossil fuel, man. See? And if they remove that fossil fuel from America, America gonna become what? I become actually a country where I gonna look up to other countries, man. See? Because them not gonna be the leading dollar in the world no more. Them not gonna be the petrodollar no more.
Yeah, they want to go to war basically fight for salvation pride.
Salvation pride. You can.
You know what I mean? Because as Yaka said, the whole system will move away from America.
Yeah.
You know? Or was moving like Biden. Yeah, but anyway, he was going one direction, man, and America, you know what I mean, invested so highly in fossil fuel.
Fossil fuel, man.
So basically, you know. More article?
Yeah, that's it says the military veteran argued that with the world being a very uncertain and anxious place because of COVID-19, there was the possibility you could see escalation led up to miscalculation. It says we have to remember that history might not repeat itself. It's gonna come. See? The scripture says there's nothing new under the sun, man. See?
Prophecy.
Yeah, prophecy, man. Prophecy have to happen, man.
Right.
History might not repeat itself, but it has a rhythm, and if you look back at the last century, before both world wars, I think it was unarguable that there was escalation which led to the miscalculation which ultimately led to war. It's coming, man.
Right. This is Revelation 18 and verse verse 15 on though. So the merchants of these things which were made rich by her shall stand afar off for the fear of her torment.
Right. Talking about America.
Weeping and wailing.
So all these men by sea, they bring them goods to America and become rich of America. When they see America burn, they don't go bad. Why they don't go cry? Because they're not gonna make no more money off America.
That's right,
they become rich off America. Right? What?
Just to show you that speaking about America, this is Revelation 17 and verse 18. It says, the woman which thou sawest is that great city which reigneth over the kings of the earth.
Yeah, America is that, man. The hammer of the earth, that's what the scripture earth for them to, man.
As Zach said, one of the main places where people go, one of the main market, basically, trade is America. You know?
I know a whole heap of country lose out because of the whole and not just the COVID-19, but because of the whole tariff thing with Trump push and the sanction and much of other countries, man. See? A lot of countries lose out with the trade route.
So it's saying alas, that great city, right, that was clothed in fine linen and purple and scarlet and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls, right? Speaking about the warrior riding beast. So for in 1 hour, such great riches is come to naught, and every shipmaster and all the countries, all the company of ships and sailors, as many as trade by sea, stand afar off and cried when they saw the smoke of her burning, saying, what city is like unto this great city?
A lot of people say that. Even when people come out here say, which country is like America, they must say America is the greatest country, man. You have some fool out there that talks about if a war if you go on certain countries can't beat America. America is the strongest country when it comes to military, man. Eh?
That's why they mean a strong delusion and say it's going to be healed.
Yeah.
You're not going to be discharged. It's verse 19. Say, and they cast dust upon their head and cry, weeping and wailing, saying, alas, alas, that great city wherein we were made rich. All that had ships in the sea by her reasoning of her costliness. For in 1 hour is she made desolate.
1 hour America basically get destroyed. Take years, upon years to build. And 1 hour they really fall take basically destroy the land of America.
Quick,
1 hour.
Very quick.
It's a rejoice over her, though heaven, and ye, right, holy apostle and prophet, for God hath avenged her on you.
God, which is right, man.
God hath avenged you on her.
Exactly. So if I'm going to judge America, you know, and I'm not right now. America going to judge for all the wickedness, especially when you do to our people.
That's right, man. And second Ezra 20 tell you, man, about it. The Lord said, "I gather the kings of the earth, man."
So verse 21 says, "And a mighty angel took up a stone like a great millstone, and cast it into the sea, saying, Thus with violence shall that great city Babylon be thrown down, and shall not be found any more at all."
Exactly.
America cannot be healed, man.
Be healed.
This is the time of them judgment. This is the time of them destruction. Right? So that I say I praise and honor to you,
Dash.
and double honors to the apostles and elders of Grave Stone. Shalom to all our brothers and out there pushing through. In our sincerity, in our honesty. Shalom.